Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Check out after your bishop here. So, today I wanted to talk a bit about freedom. Freedom from persecution, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom in general. Now, freedom to some people is just a word. That's all it is to them. It's just a word. Not to me, though. Freedom to me is, well, it's everything, really. Freedom to me is, yes, the freedom, of course, to choose. Choose what you say, choose what you do, especially with your life. As long as it doesn't harm anyone else. Alright? And there's a very fine line to that. Because, I don't know, maybe... Well, actually, I'm not going to get into that right now. But... the point is... Well, the point is supposed to be, anyway. That... freedom's not supposed to be this thing that's just all wishy-washy and everybody just sings Kumbaya and all that. Because that's unrealistic. But what freedom should be, and unfortunately what freedom is not these days, freedom does not seem to be the default. What seems to happen is everybody gets into this whole idea of, well, my feelings are where your rights end. That's I don't know why somebody would say that, but that's stupid. That really is. I mean, how in blazes could you possibly think that at some point where you find offense in something is where another person's freedom's end? If of course what that person is doing or saying is not like a call to violence or something. And violence is very well defined. It is physical. That's it. Okay, words are not violence. Words are not harming people. Except, of course, if it's a call to violence, then, well, again, I stress. But, well, in any case, So, as far as just these inalienable rights or freedoms, such as freedom of speech. They should not be infringed upon. Speech is by what we, as a civilized society, advance. It is the means in which we do so. Or I should say it's the means by which we do so. At the point we give up our freedom of speech, exactly what is the point in being a country anymore? No, honestly, what is the point? We've given up our ability to speak out against injustice. We've given up our ability to debate. We've given up everything. Just so some people won't be offended. Well, then what? At that point, we're just... At that point, we're not even people, really. We're not even a people. We're not even a country. We're just a dictatorship. Just this 1984-like dystopia of somehow offense determines whether you're right or wrong. Whether that offense somehow equals an argument. It's like, oh yes, you're right, but that was offensive, so you're wrong. That is the stupidest idea ever. Honestly, it is. Yeah, I find some people's speech not so much that's what it was. I find some things incredibly offensive. Yes, I do. Believe it or not. Despite the fact that I'm a free speech guy, I find some things incredibly offensive. But it doesn't mean I have the right to censor them, unless they are calling for violence, which is illegal. See, that's the line there. That is the line by which I will not cross, is I will not say that actual calls to violence are free speech, no. Like if you call to someone's house to be burned down or someone to be shot or something like that, yeah, you should be put in prison for that one. But otherwise, we should be free to offend. We should have the right to do so. Now, some people may disagree. They may say, oh, well, this is hateful, it's bigoted, it's... Yes, yes! You know who I find hateful and bigoted? Nazis. I find those people completely reprehensible. Or I find find, say, the KKK reprehensible, or I find maybe I find what feminists say offensive. Maybe I find what abortion, or should I say some pro-choice people say offensive. Maybe I find some pro-lifers I find offensive too, but that's a whole other can of worms I'm not going to go into right now. But the point is that just because I find something offensive, unless it's actually calling for violence, like to harm or kill somebody, there's nothing I should be able to do about it. There's no reason I should be able to silence those people. Nor should you. Okay? You cannot just be this moral arbiter of who gets to say what and who doesn't. And you should not bully those who speak up who speak and say something you just simply don't like. It's that simple. It really is. And you know what? Here's the reasons why. Here's the practical reasons why. You or I should not be able to silence people just because we disagree with them. Just because they're saying things we don't like that don't actually constitute calling for violence. Here's the reasons why. Simply put, guess what happens when you or I get silenced? The government, or whatever powers that be, doesn't even have to be a government, just has to be some sort of authority. They can use that tool to silence you or me next. Doesn't matter which one of us gets silenced first, the other will get silenced later. Okay? Yes, if I get silenced, you will get the knife later when you say something that the powers that be don't like. And when you say, oh, well, you can't do that. Yes, I can. You idiots gave me the power to do so. And yes, you are idiots for basically being said useful, witless idiots. Congratulations, you'll be pawns. You will be basically just yeah, that's exactly what you'll be. You'll be useful idiots. That's all you'll be to these people. And the second you step out of line with what they don't want, you get the axe too. So, fight for my freedom of speech. Fight for the people you don't agree with's freedom of speech. Because if we don't stand together, we all will fall individually. I am Jaeger Bishop. Have a good day.